Hi friends, welcome to IASN YouTube channel. In this video sessions, we are going to discuss about responsive entity. In previous videos, we saw about how to perform the CRUD operations on the collections by using the primitive as well as for the entity classes. Now we are going to see the topics on response entity. What is response entity? Response entity is used to return the status code for our request. Right. Okay. So here you see we are using the postman to send the request from our side to the server. Server is going to return the response for our request. So it generally contains three things. One is status code, header, and then body. The status code indicates the status of our request, whether it is accepted, created, or any bad request or any unauthorized request has happened. So we can coming to know by using the status code. Header will be contains a key and value pair, and then body, in case if you want to display any informations on the body, you can use this body thing which is present on the response entity. The response entity is a generic type, and also you can use any type also. Generally the response code will be on 3 digits one. So here you see these are the first five response status code. If the digits is going to start with 1 and that should be followed by 2 digits means it is informal informational one, that it communicates the transfer protocol level information. If the status code is start with 2 that should be followed by 2 digits means it indicates a success. That is our request is accepted by the server. That is our data is inserted successfully. So likewise. And that should be followed by 3 that should be followed by 2 digits means it redirecting our request. That is it requires the additional actions order to complete our request. In case if it is 4 and that should be followed by 2 digits means it is a client error. That is it is our error. While we are sending some request, so we may miss some authentication informations or we may send the bad request. So this all comes under the 4 that should be followed by 2 digits. That is a client error. So this category will be comes under client side, and that should be followed by 5 that should be followed by 2 digits means it is server error. That is its server take the responsibilities. That is server may not take long time to respond our request. Server is not responding. So these all requests will comes under 5. The digits start with 5. Let's see some of the response codes state code. So here you see 100, that is its status is continue. It's telling that it is continue. 200 means that is it's created. That is status is accepted. 201 means that is status is accepted and new resource is created. And 202 is for accept, and 302 for found, and 400 for bad request. Okay, so 401 is unauthorized request, and 403 is forbidden, and 404 is not found. These all are comes under the whom error, that is client side, that is our, while we are sending the request to the server, we miss some informations or we may use a bad request, and that should be followed by 500, that is internal server error. Okay, so this is comes under the server side. This all comes under the server side. And 502 is bad gateway, and 503 is service is unavailable, and 504 is gateway timeout. Let's move to the implementations on this springboard. Now I'm going to create simple classes that is going to annotated with at get mapping. Response entity class. Okay. So as I already told that, so I'm just going to annotate this class with a test controller, and that should be followed by at request mapping. So I'm just going to give slash rs port. Okay. So now you see, I'm just going to create on get mapping annotation. Let's see how to use the response code get mapping, and I'm going to use status. Okay. So I'm just going to use the method. So that is public. That should be followed by the return type, which I'm going to use response entity. Okay. Public response entity classes. As I told that it may accept the generic one or it may accept any data type. So I'm just going to use a string. Here I'm going to create a method name as get status. Okay. So inside this, I'm just writing return statement, return. So that should be followed by creating a new response entity classes. So it's going to carry three things, right? First one is status code. Another one is going to be a body tag, that is information. Another one is header. So now we are going to pass one simple information that we need to display um informations on the status, informations on the body tag. Sorry, body. Okay, so that should be followed by I'm just sending the status. Okay, so for that I'm just going to use http status code. Okay, so http status code. Okay, so status code as we're having okay, right? Okay, so okay means what? 200. So right. Okay, so I'm just going to save this program. Okay, so I'm going to run this. So let's open the postman. So we are going to use a get mapping, right? Okay, so it's running on port number 8080 only. Let's see the status of our execution. Yes, it's running successfully. Now I'm going to call this URL rs code slash status code. Okay, so I'm just sending the information. Here is the values which we passing on. The first one will be printing on here, and that should be followed by we are getting the status code 200. Now I'm just going to show you how to open, how to create by adding some header values. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to add the header values on this response. So for this, I'm just going to use a HTTP header. Okay, so here I'm just going to create instance of it. Okay, headers equal to new header. It is a key and value pair. Okay, so we can use headers like post mapping. Sorry, like hash map, we use a key and value pair, right? Okay, so likewise we can pass key and value pair. Okay, so I'm just going to pass the information um, header info and value pair. Here header value is all success. Okay, so done. So now you see we need to add this header tag to this response entity, right? Okay, so here I'm just going to add this um, in between the header tag. So I'm just going to put the header object. Okay, so headers. Okay, so now I'm going to rerun this program. So what I did is, so as I already told that HTTP that is response entity will contains three thing. One is going to be a body tag, another one is going to be header tag, another one is going to be status code. So in this program, we include the body tag information, what information need to display. Along with this, we include the header information. Along with this, we are include the status code. Okay, so I'm just going to stop and rerun this program. So the coding is executed successfully. Now I'm going to execute this program once again. Now you see we got the same output. Now we are moving to this header section. Here you will be find the values which we pass is header info, right? Okay, so here you see header info is present here. So that should be followed by the values which we given on here. So now hope you understand how to use the response entity. So now I'm going to show you how to include this response entity on the previously we implemented the CRUD operations on the collections, right? How to include this, right? So 200, what is the main purpose of 200 status code? So 200 status code is for created successfully, right? Okay, so here you see what is the main purpose of using the 200? 200 means, okay, so that is created successfully. Okay, so sorry, 201 is created, new resources get created, right? Okay, so here I'm going to use this on our post mapping. Okay, so here we are using the post mapping. Okay, so instead of returning a list of thing, I'm just going to use mm, instead of this I can use response entity. Okay, so the type which I'm going to pass is, instead of this I'm just going to pass void. Okay, so here in this return statement I'm just going to return the status, that is okay, created, right? Return, so that is new response entity. Here inside this, I'm just going to pass HTTPS that is created successfully. HTTP status dot creator. And done. Okay. So now, so here we need to use a void because okay, done. Okay. So now we are going to execute this code. Okay. So by calling this endpoint, that is slash add. Okay. So students slash add. So let's see our response code status. What we need to call? We need to pass some values, right? Okay, already we passed some values onto this URL we are having on here. Now I'm going to send the request. So here you see our status is telling that 201 is get created. Now, how to implement the same thing? So when you're going to retrieve all this details, that is view all the students. Okay, so here also I'm just going to use response entity on list of students. Okay, so now you see we are going to return the status, return, okay, mm, new response entity. So here we need to pass the body tag, that is the details of this students along with the status code. Okay, so for that I'm just going to do one thing. I'm just going to create list of student equal to, so all the data it's going to store it on here, right? Okay, so we are going to return the values in the response body. Okay, so then first we are going to pass the data and then that should be followed by http status code. Okay, so that is status. I'm just going to tell it as okay. http status dot okay. So now I'm going to stop this code and rerun this one once again. So now you see it's running successfully. So again, I'm just going to add the values. Okay, so now I'm going to retrieve all the students details. Okay, so here is the student slash view all students. Here also view student slash view all students. Okay, so once I'm going to call this particular URL, is going to return the body along with the status code is okay. So here you see we are already execute. We got this same thing. We are passing through response entity. Okay, so got it. We got the data along with this. We are going to get the status code that is okay. That is server accept our response. Then the state that is execution is done successfully. Right. So this is all about response entity. Okay. So as I already told that response entity will return the status code. Along with that, it is going to return the body, then header. By using the status code, we coming to know what is the status of our request. Right. Okay. So here you see we implemented response entity on this post mapping as well as for the get mapping. Okay. So got it. Hope you understand what is response entity. So if you like this video, please share this video to your friends and please click the subscribe button and bell button. Thank you.